In the meantime, Super Eagles captain Mikel Obi likes the blend of youth and experience in the team as they head to the Africa Cup of Nations. Mikel believes that the right tactical guidance, the likes of Samuel Kalu and Samuel Chukwueze, can contribute to Nigeria's quest of becoming champions of Africa for a fourth time.
It's a very good blend. It's a very good blend of young and experience. Yeah, you could say today maybe, like the coach said, we missed a bit of experience, like Ndidi, Gallo, Sheku, they went on the pitch. But I think it's also good for the young players to play these games. Chukwueze, Kalu, you could see a bit of flashes of talented players. They're very, very good players. I think it's just. I think we will work on that. I think the coach will work on that. When to run with the ball, when not to run, when to pass. But you will see the talent is there for them. I think they can do great things in this.
On the international scene, mass protests are going on in Hong Kong against a proposed extradition bill that would allow suspected criminals to be sent to mainland China for trial. Critics fear this would let China target political opponents in the territory. Now, Hong Kong's chief executive has pushed for amendments to be passed before July. Supporters say safeguards are in place to prevent anyone facing religious or political persecution from being expelled to mainland China.
The numbers ran into hundreds of thousands, even going higher later on, filling the streets of Hong Kong in a last bid to thwart a proposed extradition law that would allow suspects to be sent to China to face trial. More than 2,000 policemen were deployed to contain the protests, though there were considerations for more. The protesters chanted no to what they called evil law and called for Hong Kong's chief executive Carrie Lam to step down. Hours later, the protesters refused to move, camping outside Hong Kong's Legislative Council.
I think that more roles for the protesters, because this is a parade and we have to move, and we just have a little role for us. That's not enough, so we have to request more role, and this is a protest.
Human rights groups have repeatedly expressed concerns about the use of torture, arbitrary detentions, forced confessions, and problems accessing lawyers in China. Hong Kong officials have defended the plans, even as they raise the threshold of extraditable offences to crimes carrying penalties of 7 years or more.
The security forces in Sudan have reportedly fired tear gas and live ammunition to disperse protesters, setting up barricades in the capital, Khartoum. Doctors aligned to the opposition say 3 people have been killed on the first day of the strike. The main protest group revealed that a number of Sudan's bank, airport and electricity workers were arrested ahead of the strike against the military rule, while the Sudanese Professionals Association says employees are also being threatened by the authorities to scare them into going to work instead of taking part in the nationwide strike. Elsewhere, police in Kazakhstan have arrested hundreds of people protesting against a poll to elect the country's first new president in 30 years. The election was called after a long-time leader, 78-year-old Nursultan Nazarbayev, stepped down in March. His hand-picked successor, interim president Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, is widely expected to win the vote. Protesters and opposition candidates claimed Sunday's poll was not free and fair. Large-scale protests, the biggest the country has seen in years, against the election have been reported in Kazakhstan's capital and its largest city, Almaty. And the main news again. Honourable Femi Gbajabiamila today continues consultations on his bid to becoming the next Speaker of the House of Representatives. The lawmaker today in Abuja announced that he has the numbers to actualise the dream. Also today, SERAP and other civil society groups announced that it has filed a suit seeking to stop the National Assembly's 4.68 billion naira welcome package for lawmakers. Plus, we told you more than 1 million people today took part in protests in Hong Kong over Chinese extradition law. And that's news at 10 tonight. I'd like to thank you for watching. I'm Millicent Walker. Have a good night.